Hi, it's Charlie giving you Friday's live trading. It's 10 past 7. Just doing a bit of an intro here before we get started. I'm with all our swing traders today. Well, I say all of them. There's a load of us together, so they'll all be coming into our Zoom software at 7:30. So, um, just having a quick run through here. I'm going to be looking at the long side again on the euro dollar. If I take us out to the daily charts, well, potentially anyway, potentially on the daily charts, we've been closing the last 2 days on the outside of my bands. So it's telling us that there's strong price momentum. We're closing up near our highs of each day. Of course, it could reverse today. Of course, it can. But if I see potential strength coming in, then I'll be looking to get on the long side. So if I take this back down to an hourly chart to start off with, we've done a bit of a pullback here and we've now bounced. If I see some strength coming in, then that's when I'll be looking to get in on this. So it's likely I'm going to be trading the euro today. So the other majors, there's a little bit of a wobble in the pound last night because of the Brexit discussions. Boris Johnson seems to be insistent that he doesn't want to do a deal on fish. So anyway, so that pulled back a little bit more, and the Aussie pulled back yeah, that's definitely pulled back more. So let's have a look at the Kiwi as well whilst we're here. Yeah, and that one has as well. So actually, some of these majors have pulled back, but you take it out to a daily chart, and you can see, you put it into perspective there. So that's the Kiwi, then that's the Aussie. So put it in perspective. Don't get me wrong; these are monster trends. They have to stop at some point, and we are getting close to Christmas now, and the markets may start to slow down. But for the time being, it's this euro dollar because I'm looking for this. See this red line here? That's what I'm looking for. It's 123.50. It matches up with a load of prior highs. If I actually get us out to a high enough time frame, there you go. On the monthly chart, you can see these highs, and I'm not slicing it through the absolute highs because I want it to slice through all of this prior price action as well. You see, and it's been on my chart for years. This red line. So. And this red line comes in with some other factors as well, but going out to even higher time frames than this. So 123.50 is a nice level. So if the euro did have a pop today, it's possible. It's only well, it's 100 pips away from where we currently are, but about 80 pips from where we closed pretty much last night. So it's doable. It's doable to get there. So we'll see. I'll press pause for now. Okay. Okay, right, so just back and been waiting here, and it's now 8:15, and I'm going to be buying this euro dollar. I'm going to be putting two lots in, so I'm going to I'll change this to 100,000 because I'm going to be putting two lots in. So let's get one unit in right now. So, and then I'm just splitting my entries up as always, and I'll get the other one in. I'll split it into two, actually, 250s. Gives me a little bit of, there we go. And I'm going to be putting a 20 pip stop behind this. I was just saying to the guys here, that's what I'm going to be doing. It's a little bit higher than I really would have liked, but anyway, so the stop is going to be down at, let's bring up ignore the other positions because they're swing trades, the other positions, of course. So I've got so this is what we've just put in, the 100 and the 250s. So let's get the stops in. So we're going to be putting those stops in around about 35. 122, 35, because that'd be about 20 pips. And it's risking about £300, I've estimated. About £300 I'm risking here. 1.2235. So 1.2235. Like I said earlier in my intro, so there we go. So we've got the stops in. So we'll see how that gets on. As what I was actually doing is I was looking at my 15-minute chart. If I take you to the 15-minute chart, it was this candle here. We come down to my little bands. We've done this nice strong close. So I've just bought us, seeing that we're closing up there. So with giving it a decent stop. So I'm not putting the stop just below this candle or anything. I've got the stop down here. Ideally, it would have been a bit further away, but I didn't realise we were all of a sudden going to bounce that strong just at the end there. So so I'd already estimated the position size. And bearing in mind, I've got traders here with me on our Zoom. We've got our Zoom software running. So that stop, I've said 20 pips. So everyone's trying to calculate their own position sizing and stuff. So as I've said, going out to the daily chart, any weakness intraday, I would still expect this to still come up. It doesn't mean to say I can't get stopped out, of course, because I've only got a little intraday stop there. But that's still the plan. So, and even if I get stopped out on this, the potential is that I end up waiting and then get another entry later. There is the Brexit risk, the Brexit negotiations risk again today. But the trend's up, and so I've just been waiting for a bit of a sign that that we are trying to turn. We've come into some support, moving average support and whatnot down here. So and then got a bit of a reaction here from a price perspective. So let's see if we can follow through. As far as targets are concerned, if we start coming up, then the first logical target really would be right way up at 120, 123. So that would be the first level. Anyway, I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back, and we can see now it's now 10 to 1. The euro, since I got into that trade this morning on this bar, it's just chopped around sideways and now it's finally coming up a bit, but it's been a very slow day. If I take this back out to that daily chart, if you remember from earlier, well, you don't have much to remember because I'm only 6 minutes in, but for us, I've had this on pause for hours and hours. So I talked about that potential for the dip intraday, having closed on the outside of my bands, and so therefore I was going to be wanting to be on the long side, and that's why we did that. And it's finally coming up. The jury's out as to whether it's going to do much today now, but reason I come back on the mic is because with you is that I'm going to move the stop up. I've just said to the guys, I'm going to move the stop up to 122.40. So let's bring the those orders over. So these, remember the 3 entries from this morning, all down there at 56, 55, 55. So I need to move the stops up on those. So they were at 35. I'm going to move those stops up to 40. So I'm not choking the trade. I'm literally moving up 5 pips. So it was a 20 pip stop. So I'm moving up by a quarter. But not choking the trade. I could obviously, again, a lot of the time people want to move their stops to break even, and but break even would be only just a bit below. What was the entry at 56? Wasn't it 55, 56? Yeah. So people would want to do that, but no, I still want to give it some room to breathe, and I'd rather take the loss than move the stop up to break even and then miss out on those winners, because otherwise you do just miss out on the winners if you move your stop to break even too early. So. But we will trail it up, of course, and the next level, if we had a big breakout or a breakout, then it could well be that I'll move it up to the low of this candle, around about 52, by looks of things. Well, maybe 50, yeah, about 52, 51, 52. So if we break out, then that's what we'll do. But we're targeting, like I said, right away up there at 123. Is what the target is going to be. I think it's a bit of an ask the way the market's been moving today, but it could, perk up. You've only got to have some Brexit news. I've seen there's been a little bit more positive talk out of Boris Johnson this morning, saying our position is we want to keep talking. Well, that's good then, isn't it? So maybe they'll just carry on talking until 2035. Yeah, maybe that's what they'll do. So we'll see if I can get there. But if you remember from this morning, I'm ultimately looking for that 123.50 zone. So 123.50 it will be a target. We're going to have to decide what to do today, though, because this really is a day trade, and I might be asking a bit much out of 123.50. Now, I either hold on to the trade into next week, bank half if we can get up to 123, and then hold on to the trade into next week and then just run it to 123.50 next week, which is what I'd be inclined to do. But knowing full well that there is a Brexit risk over the weekend of them saying that's it, no deal, and then there could be, although the pound would be affected worse, the potential is for gaps. But if I'm only in by that stage, if I'm only in with a half-size position because I've already banked half, let's say, then it's not so much of an issue. But anyway, we're getting a bit far ahead of ourselves at the moment. It's only 10 to 1. Let's see what happens in this afternoon session. I'll press pause for now. Okay, right, just back, and I have finally been stopped. We were up earlier on, and then when I trailed the stop up, and it's just rolled over since then. It's now 250, so a pretty boring day overall, and now it's finally coming off. So let's just show the returns this Friday again. Another Friday with losses, but that's just the way it goes. So it's only one day of the week, but it's just whatever I'm showing on the Friday, isn't it? So we trailed that stop up to 122.40. So, I've had a bit of slippage there because of probably the lack of probably slightly wider spreads because it's been such sticky price action there today. So whatever that works out at, 120, 180, 190, 250. Yeah, I said it was going to be a bit less. The original risk was about 300 or so. And so, yeah, so by trailing that stop up, it's meant for a smaller loss there so far today. So a bit of a tedious, boring day there today. But I was saying to the guys here that there is still the potential that I trade again, even though it is getting a bit late in the afternoon. Because I do like this daily pattern. So if it, and like I said, I think earlier on, it is as the more time that time passes, that the potential is they're going to be there that the price will want to come down, take that low out because it's taken too long, and then of course stops build up below that low. So that's what it's done. So it'll be interesting to see how much lower it comes here. But if it doesn't come down too much, and then we get some sort of reversal, then I'll look to put another long in because I do quite like, as I keep saying, the daily chart there. So if I had have left my stop at 35, you can see that I would have got stopped out at 35. So I have saved myself a little bit of money there by trading the stop up there to this afternoon. So, is there anything else to mention? Yeah, going back to that daily chart though, this is still very, very small in the grand scheme of things. I like the closes. Like I said, this is still just potentially it could still end up being just a down day and then goes up again on Monday. So it could just be a down day, but I'm very conscious that sometimes you get this sort of movement intraday and then it closes back off its lows and then then it continues into the coming days. So we'll just see how it pans out. But right now, it was certainly the right thing to do to trail the stop up a little bit, and as it turns out, the market allowed me to at least do that, and we're just going to see how this is going to react here this afternoon. If it carries on selling off, then I'll leave it alone. If we get a nice reversal at some point, I'll give it another try and put another trade in. So I shall press pause for now. Okay, finally just back now, and it's 5:38. And I'm going to put another trade on, but this is going to be a trade for the weekend. So I'm going to put another position in here. It's going to be a 2/3 position size. I'm going to have a slightly wider stop. I'm going to put a stop down at 30 pips below. And so it's going to be a one lot trade on this one. So I'm going to put two positions of half a lot in. So that's the first half lot. Let's get the next one. And there's the next one. So let's now bring up the positions. So there's my losers from earlier. So these are the positions I just put in. So let's get the stop losses in. So I'm putting the stop losses in at 13, 122, 1.2213. Oops, is that going to take it? Come on. Oh, my keyboard again. Is that working now? 1 point. Keyboard stopped working. I don't know what's going on with my keyboard this week. Oh, there we go. 1.2213. And then put the other one in. 1.22, 1.2213. Okay, so I've put those in. I've given it a little bit more room here on the hourly chart. So those are in. So it's a 2/3 position size. So it's risking a bit less, but with a slightly wider stop of having it about 30 pips. The risk to reward. So this is the plan. The potential is there that we have a pop going into early part of next week. Obviously, we could pop down as well. Hence why I'm putting a 2/3 position size in. If we have a pop, if we do come up, then I'm looking for 123, which is a 2-to-1 risk to reward, because that'd be about 60 pips from where we currently are. I'll take half of that at 123 and I'll run the other half to around about 123.50 if it can get there next week. That's the plan. It's right from what I said this morning. It's this whole what was going on here today. We've been closing on the outside of my bands. This is still very much an upwards trend. Overall, just a fairly orderly pullback, as I've said it here. I am going to have this going into the weekend. I'm not bothered too much about gaps. There could be gaps if there's a no-deal Brexit, but that's why I've got a slightly smaller position on. So if there was a gap, okay, I might get slippage on my stop, but I've also got a 2/3 position size on anyway. So that's that. So we'll see how that pans out going into next week. Unfortunately, it just does mean that well, you'll have to log it, won't you? You'll know by Monday or Tuesday whether if the euro dollar's gone up, then you'll know Charlie's made money. If the euro dollar goes down, then you know that I had another loss. Simple as that. I'm going to leave you to it. Enjoy your weekend. This will get out to you on Friday. As always, give us a thumbs up if you like the videos. And any comments, always welcome as always. I'll see you next week. Take care for now.